I'll have you do the intro one. Look at the countdown because I know you like those.
Yeah, you just be like, yeah, how you do the intro on, and then just sit there. I'll be like, well, what the fuck are we starting?
No.
All right.
10, 9.
Did you start from 10? Holy shit, bro.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Big Lonn 412 here, the People Stoner, here with my guy, Brock Schaefer. And today on the High Rollerz podcast, we have the one, the only, the first Stoner King, High Rollerz champion from High Rollerz 1, the very first one. Bow down, make some noise. Mr. Donkey Guard, Jeff Glover himself.
Oh,
Kobayashi.
Yeah.
Man. What's up, Jeff?
That was a wonderful introduction. Thank you, Big Lonn.
No problem. Thank you for doing the first High Rollerz. That was cool as shit as you. I was like, man, that's pretty dope. Fucking Jeff Glover's here.
Yeah, well, you know, I've been banking off of winning that ever since, dude. So thank you.
Oh man, no problem. And I don't even know if you realize, but when you signed up, there was this little WWE agreement, kind of like Vince McMahon and The Rock. So I'm glad you told me that. So I will be invoicing you a little later for everything you banked up on, because we now own the name Jeff Glover, Donkey Guard, and High Rollerz. You know what I mean? That's how we roll.
So I got to break a little bit of this weed off for Big Lonn right here. Okay,
there we go.
I get, Big Lonn gets a piece.
There you go. No. But no, that's dope, man. And that's really was like the whole point of even starting this shit was like just trying to help people who like smoke pot and do jujitsu, like get a little bit more out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because of course we know there's always been all the big tournaments and shit, but it's like if you even coming in there smelling like weed, people look at you crazy. So for me, jumping straight into jiu-jitsu and then like coming up with that shit like not too long after, I was kind of just like, man, fuck this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I smoke weed and I gotta smoke weed to do this shit and to do it well. Like, not like I needed to do jiu-jitsu, but for me to do jiu-jitsu at a state of like, I'm not going to get fucking hurt. I know my body kind of switches to that. I don't know if anybody's an anime nerd, but I get to that autonomous, like ultra instinct stage of like Goku, where I'm just like moving and don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, damn, I don't even know how I got on his back, but I'm here now. So maybe I should just squeeze.
Well, I love your vision. I've always loved your vision, you know, from day one. I loved what your ideas and what you wanted to do and how you brought people together, and your ability to like neutralize like hostile people is fucking remarkable. And it's just it's a refreshing it's been a refreshing thing to be a part of. And everywhere I go, dude, all my seminars, people always ask me about High Rollerz. Like, Glover, what's up with that High Rollerz, huh? I get high all the time, you son of a bitch. You always smoking that shit and doing that jiu-jitsu shit. Yeah, what's up, man? Bring High Rollerz here. They're like, dude, do a High Rollerz here at my fucking school, man. We could do it in my backyard. And I'm like, listen, dude, in Tennessee, we're not bringing High Rollerz to your backyard. I'm glad you're excited. They always think I own it. They think I own High Rollerz. They're like, so it's pretty making a lot of money, huh? The High Rollerz. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, aren't you one of the owners? No, I don't own. No. How did you get that in your mind?
David, hey, shit. I'm glad they think you're one of the owners and one of the faces of it. That's a good place to have. Shit. So. But yeah, Brock, say something, man. I'm just letting you talk.
I'm enjoying the convo here.
A little fanboy.
Hey, no, I'm enjoying the convo here. I would like to talk about the tournament circuit that Jeff has going on. A little money on the mat tournament. We'd love to hear a little bit about that, Jeff. We've heard some stories from others, but not from the man himself.
What did you hear?
What did we hear? We heard there's some cool biker dudes, some cool jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
It was something I did when Blovid happened, and all the tournaments were shut down, all the jiu-jitsu schools were shut down. My jiu-jitsu school that I was running, everyone canceled their memberships and the place essentially shut down. So the idea was, okay, we have this building for like another half month. At the end of this month, we're all kicked out of here. And I went on Instagram and I typed in on the stories. I was like, yo, 16, I'm looking for 16 dudes that want to come put up $300. It was right, dude. It was 2020. It was the age of talking shit online and making bets against fighting dudes in grappling matches. 2020 was the year for that shit. Right before Blovid happened, that shit was happening. So I was like, okay, let's put this together. So I was like, I'm looking for 16 dudes that think they're dope at jiu-jitsu, that are willing to bet $300 against 16 other dudes. I'm going to take that $300 from all 16 of you dudes. I'm going to keep 25% of it for putting this shit together. And the winner's going to get the rest. And the rest of you guys fucking, you have to lick your wounds. And 16 dudes fucking like 30 dudes messaged me. And they're like, where do we put the money? How do we do this? When is it? And I was like, shit, damn, if you build it, they will come, as you guys have learned. And I think it was like 2 days later, man, I had 16 dudes. We put the whole thing together. One of my buddies had somehow he had all the camera equipment, dude. And we live streamed it. It's on YouTube. If you look at Money on the Mat 1, it'll come up.
Go check that out.
Yeah, and it's super ghetto, dude. I mean, I put it together. I can't believe I did that shit looking back on it. And I wore a suit, you know what I'm saying? I hired people to do things, blah, blah, blah. I forget. I think I ended up making, what was the money? What's 300 times 16?
Good thing I got a calculator right here.
What's the money on that?
$4,800.
Yeah, we gathered about $5,000. That's right. And I kept a little bit, blah, blah, the winner got the rest. It was hectic because I'm trying to think of the right word, because I was just like, I didn't do any belts. I was like, hey, whatever belts, because it was the time when like purple belts and blue belts were starting to be like, hey, fuck these black belts. I can tap these black belts. These years of training don't mean shit. I put in 2 solid dope ass years and it was actually happening. And I was like, okay, let's see if some of these purple belts that are talking all this shit are first willing to step up and put the money up. And 2, if they can back their shit up, if they can put their money on the mat and back that shit up. And what ended up happening was the guy who won was a big dope ass black belt with a lot of experience. And all the young, you know what I'm saying? All the young blue and purple belts who put that money on, talk that shit, they all got tapped by this dude. And it was just, I think it was a great little scientific experiment to prove what we know is true, is that, dope black belts with a lot of experience, will always beat, young, excited, hyped up dudes without the experience. And it's like your hype and all the shit talking is great. And I'm happy for it. But like, we saw what happens. It only takes you so far till you run into a real player who's put in 10 more years than you. And that jiu-jitsu experience kicks in and you get fucking tapped. And you lost $300 and you drove all the way to Santa Barbara to pay $300 for some dude to choke you out. And then from there it happened, and then it was an underground type thing. And it got some following. People were all excited about it. So we did it again. And I ended up linking up because that place closed. So I ended up linking up with a motorcycle club in Ventura, the Hells Angels, and we worked together to run the tournament. And they helped me operate it. They helped me, they provided a great place to run it. They were on time. They were calling me. They were like, hey, dog, you're late. You're 10 minutes late to your own shit. What's up? And I was like, fuck, I love these dudes, And it was a great environment, man. It was a great environment. They had a bar. We laid the mats out. They helped me do the whole thing, dude. They made money. I made money. The tournament did really well. We ran about 11 of these. The last one we did was actually almost a year ago. It was my birthday party / seminar. It wasn't a tournament, but it was my last event with those guys. And it was just great. If any of them ever see or hear this, I hope they know how much I love and appreciate the time I spent with them running those tournaments. That shit was wild, man. It was crazy matches, crazy rules that I invented. It was basically a mini High Rollers. It was my version of High Rollers. I just copied what you guys did. There was weed going around. I was smoking as the referee. I was doing my big Lonn impression, smoking the joint as the referee and shit, getting in between the dudes, making them smoke the joint and shit. I did the whole thing. We did the whole thing. It was a crazy thing. We did it like over the course of 2.5 years. We ran like 10 little events, and we called it Money on the Map.
Speaking of like throwing things like back and forth off of each other, we actually got was our second like rule set, the 10 or tap rules.
Yeah.
We actually got that from Jeff. Jeff was the one who came up with the idea for the 10 or tap. And we ran with that for a while. It was super dope. Then we had motherfuckers who was just pointing people out in just fucking seconds, man. It was just like it was just like, oh shit. Like, yeah. So not that now, I will say this. If you ever have a tournament and it's just a ton of people, I think 10 or tap might be one of the best rule sets to go, because then it kind of weed things out. Like if you got somebody who just does not belong on a map with somebody, and you could tell within 10 points, shit, it could be 8 seconds and the motherfucking shit be over. They be on them so fast, like back, knee on belly, boom, 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 boom. And then you might got somebody who do 8 points and then tap them anyway. So
yeah, it was interesting. It goes back to like, you know, having a ref, having to be responsible for keeping points is always going to be a pain in the ass, no matter what rule system you do. That's why Eddie Bravo and the whole like sub only community, that's what they're all about. They're like, fuck putting all that responsibility on some ref, dude. Some ref has to like give his opinion if it was 2 points or not, and a judgy call. Now half the fucking room hates him and wants to kill him and goes up to the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're like, yo, let's take that away. Let's just put the ref in there to stop the match if somebody's getting submitted and make sure that arm doesn't fucking break. That's what you're responsible for. You know what I'm saying? And I get that, dude. But then that leads to another problem. That leads to dudes like, you know, hiding behind leg locks and not trying to sweep, not trying to pass, not trying to do takedowns, not trying to take the back. And you lead to some pretty fucking ugly, boring matches that way, dude, that end in 0-0 draws. And now we start on the back thing. But I think what 10 or tap did was kind of neutralize that a little bit. And it brought back the value of positional jiu-jitsu, because positional jiu-jitsu, when done right, it's how you win street fights, dog. It's how you win street fights. You take a dude down, you sit on top of him in the mount, and you punch him until they turn around, and then you fucking choke them. I mean, that's how it goes. That's how it goes when it goes best. And I think when you do like sub only, where points don't count, and like if I pull guard, it doesn't matter. Like in my tournament in 10 or tap rules, one of the things was that if you pulled guard, the other guy receives a point. So there's no way of you getting onto the guard. The match ends 0-0, and you get to be like, well, I almost did an omoplata, I almost did a triangle, and I almost did a sweep. So, and it's like, nah, dog, you didn't do any of that shit, though, did you? You almost did all kinds of shit.
That would bring in, that would incorporate more wrestling, too, and kind of introduce more wrestling as well, would it not?
It does, yeah.
And that's something.
It can. Yeah. It can. There were dudes that came in and fucking leg locked everybody, though. There were dudes that came, pulled guard, gave the wrestler his 1 point, and then from their guard, used De La Hiva, reverse De La Hiva to invert into a 50-50, and then ripped a heel hook on the dude. Or ripped a straight foot lock. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, it can go a number of ways. There were matches where it was like 10 or tap, right? The first person to 10 points. It was 9-0. And the dude that had 0 pulled out a fucking footlock from the bottom. Boom, like a shark coming up underneath its prey, dog. Just like, just snatched up that leg lock. Boom, went down on it. The dude was like, ah. And it was like, oh, he won. He had 0 points. The other dude just had to score 1 more point. It was fucking incredible. The crowd went nuts, man. And it leads to some super high energy matches, potentially.
And some great memories for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your movie memory right there. Like, man, I was in this fucking biker bar. I was down 9-0. I fucking pulled it off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, dude. Exactly.
That dude might be like, I'm done. That's it. I'm good. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu's done. I had my moment. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Some dudes tell me that. Some dudes tell me that. They're like, hey, dude, that tournament, like, hey, nothing's ever been the same like that. Like, that was the funnest thing I've ever done in jiu-jitsu. Like, it was cool. I will say, like, If you guys want to, like, anybody watching, if you want to see into this, we did a documentary on it. It's called Money on the Mat. I'm pretty sure you can buy it on YouTube. I have a website called Jeff Glover Online, and you can buy it for $20. A guy named Roy Dean filmed it. He filmed like the 10th version of it. He came, recorded all the matches, recorded the buildup. We put it into like an hour. It's like a 45-minute video, and it's like $20. And it's one of the coolest documentaries in jiu-jitsu I've ever seen, despite the fact that I'm in it. I also think, I know I'm biased as fuck because I'm in it, but it's a really well put together documentary by Roy Dean. He's an amazing jiu-jitsu black belt. And yeah, you guys should go watch it. It's called Money on the Mat.
Make sure you guys check that out. Money on the Mat. You can cop that now. The homie Jeff Glover got the behind the scenes documentary of his tournament, Money on the Mat. Now,
I'll
after
throw that
that,
link in the bio too.
Throw that link in the bio, Brock.
Yeah, I'll throw it.
Every now and then we get a little bit of Brock talk, guys. He opens his mouth and he says something. You know what I mean?
Hey,
but
hey, when there's a good conversation happening, I'm not gonna interrupt.
yeah, fucking, I love you, bro. You like the great American dad. Like you just fucking.
I like how you bust his balls. This is great.
Yo, he's the best, man. He's like one of Hank Hill's homeboys who just hang out with him. You know what I mean?
He's gonna get that dango, gonna get on that front yard, man. Gonna work that dango, Cadillac converter, man. Park that car in that front yard, man. The grass, gonna get that grass stink, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Boom, yeah, man. Hank boy, come on.
Yeah.
For real. But now we go from that going straight into the hey, I'm right there with you, player. I'm right there with you. But I was just about to say from that, but you, my friend, are messing up. You are killing the flavor.
Oh,
you have very high temp heat going on over there. We got to get you a long wick over there and make sure you're getting everything you need out of that. So,
right, you're right.
With that being said, smoking and healing in jiu-jitsu, or smoking and training in jiu-jitsu, like when is your on and off for smoking? Because I know, like, for myself, like, if I'm going in there like, all right, today's the day I need to sharpen up on a little bit of technique here, or this one sub I'm really trying to get, then that's the day I might not go into class like smack. You know what I mean? I might just hit my pen real quick, run in there, boom. But then, you know, open, man, I'm coming in there ready to go, like just trying to get myself together. And then if it's comp training, I'm high as fuck, because then I'm just in like fucking, I'm in crazy mode. Then I don't worry about breathing and getting tired. Like I get so high, I block that shit out.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm the same way. As many dabs as you can before open mat is the best way to hit open mat.
Yeah. Brock, you are lying, bro.
Yeah, like a half gram of dabs is down the hatch before open mats begins. That's just the way it goes.
Brock, you chew fucking tobacco before open mat.
Shoot, I know. I did that one time, got a Chipotle bowl through the nose, and that was the last time I did that ever again. Hacked up a Chipotle bowl through the nose, and I was like, nope, that's not the drug for me.
Bro, that sounds horrible.
Why is it like if somebody smells like booze, like I'm like, whoa, I judge them differently than if somebody smells like weed. Why is that? Like somebody smells like weed, I'm like, cool, let's fucking roll. Like whatever. I don't even care. It's normal to me.
Bro,
I'm rolling and they smell like booze. I'm like, oh.
Think about it. You like, yo, he's fucking drunk. He might hurt me.
Yeah.
Like for real, when people are drunk and you're in any type of anything physical going on in your head, normally it's not like, oh, this is about to be cool and fun. You're like, damn, man, this drunk motherfucker might hurt me or some shit, man. Or even, you know what I mean? He might bust my damn lip or something. Like
shit, this is how my dad. Yeah. This is how my dad used to smell before he beat my ass.
Hey, but that's what us. When they smell weed on us, they kind of get that same like opinion. They're like, oh, this dude's a drug addict. Like he's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's crazy. Like definitely. And I do think it's the opposite too. Like people who only drink, they be like, oh, that fucking little junkie over there. And then people who only smoke, you like, you go to a fucking AA meeting, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, we're all
so,
smart. I think we need to just accept. I don't know. What about like dudes that like take mushrooms and come to class?
Hey, that's becoming way more prominent. That's becoming like microdosing and going to class. You know
Can
how
they
many like,
pay attention or no?
dude? You know how many like 40
I'm
plus
on some right
year old
now.
men? Yeah, really.
I'm
You
on
know how many
some.
40 plus year old men I've been rolling with? Like, hey man, I'm on shrooms right now. That happens all the time. Like I'm talking
Me too.
Ford F-250 driving,
Me
roofing,
too.
yeah, like roof company owning guys, like good old Republican, like good
Middle
old
America, dude.
yeah,
Middle
good old
America dudes
Republican
love
dudes.
mushrooms.
Yep. Just coming to the jiu-jitsu, like man, I could see in between the moves, I could see the fabrics of jiu-jitsu. It's like man,
I haven't done any training on shroom, striking or jiu-jitsu.
strike can be interesting.
I don't know. I was always really like undisciplined about like when I smoked and trained. It was just like I just smoked weed the way people smoke cigarettes, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was like before and after everything.
Gotcha.
You know, it wasn't this like oh, it's this thing I like cut back on or increased because of whatever. It was just always consistent. When I wasn't high anymore, it was time to get more into the brain. You know, when I had enough, it was time to fucking stop and then do shit and then do shit, you know? And then I would do shit, blah, 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 jiu-jitsu, 2 hours, blah, blah, blah. Had a great training session, worked out, fucking worked my balls off, you know what I'm saying? Did like 5,000 reps of all kinds of different shit, whatever. Trained with like 15 dudes, tapped out, blah, 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 did all this shit. Dope. Now it's time to get baked again. You know, that's just, it was like that all through my competitive years. That's just how it was, you know?
Did you like to indulge a lot on competition day as well?
I mean, every day, you know, it would be weird if I wasn't.
See, for me, it's always rough for me on competition days is trying to, maintain the schedule and being able to, unless I'm competing at high rollers, if I'm competing at, the other lame tournament circuits where I can't head over to the Dr. Dabber bar and take a, quarter gram dab right before my match.
I was gonna say, Brock, you also got to think though. You talking about dabbing versus doing flowers, like them is two different monsters. Also, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really going to do two big ass dabs and go out there and try and do a fucking 16-man bracket tournament, bro. It's gonna feel like at some point Bigfoot stepping on my chest. I'm like, God damn, like I need to spit some dabs out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so. That I feel like them is two different, like way two different monsters, like octopus and a squid. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like that's looked at differently though. Like between like new school and old school, I feel like that's observed a lot differently. Like these younger guys can come in here and rip dabs, like you guys can rip jeebs or bong hits or whatever. And
nah, fuck that. I beg to differ. I had one of them younger guys say that shit at high rollers. I took his ass over there to that corner. He said I could do this and I could do that off these dabs. I let that boy do that dab. I came back looking for that boy. He was sitting on the benches sleeping, real nice and pretty, like with a pillow. The middle of high rollers, bro. After one match, that man did a match. He did good in that match. And guess what? After that match, the man was like this on the bleachers. I got pictures of it.
You did him dirty with that. You did him dirty with that swank.
Pillow. He didn't come in with the pillow. We didn't have pillows here. But this man, all of a sudden, after them dabs, had a pillow and was sleeping.
Yes, he did. You want to go get Artie? Okay, sorry.
Y'all did him dirty with the swank, didn't you?
No, he got himself done dirty. One thing about me, I don't come into any rooms or any conversation with conflictable energy. All right. I don't have that energy. All right. So when I see you and I say, hey man, what's up? You like, I can out dab you. I'm like, oh, you thought I was just because I was cool, I was a bitch. Nah, I'll do this. Come on, let's go. And you know what I mean? Like, and you learn very quickly, like, oh, he like dabs. Like, oh, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I dab, they pull out the special wax, the bigger rig, and then you sitting there beside me, you like, Oh, this shit just got real. Like I didn't know what was going on. Sorry, that's my woman and my dog. They're like at this eternal war at all times. So my dog goes and gets on this part of the couch she knows she's not allowed on, and it makes my woman come over and like try to wrestle her and get her off. So I have Corsos, the Italian Mastiffs. You know they're big, so that's her thing. She's like, "Oh, if I get mom to fucking wrestle me, then she loves me." And mom falls for the shit every time. She's like, "She's on my shit. Oh, I'm about to go get her." And then she go grab her. She thinking she's like being tough and mean, like, "Get off." I don't ever say nothing, but I'm just looking at the dog's tail be wagging so fast. She be so happy, like, this is all I want. Oh, I'm gonna fuck you up, mom. So if you hear noises back here and it sounds like somebody's trying to stop themselves being abducted, that's what that is.
My wife and dogs do the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but they're at eternal war. I think it's a woman and dog thing, man. I don't know.
Like 150-pound dog and 150. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know her weight. Never mind. Don't let me say that shit out.
We'll cut that part out.
This will not be my death video, guys. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? A nice petite woman and a large dog. You know what I'm saying? So
there you go.
That's what that noise is. But back to the conversation though, honestly, as an indulger of both and like using the wick, like that shit really make like a damn near double difference, bro. Like no bullshit. Like I cannot dab and really think I'm about to go out here and put in some real good work. Like at some point I'm gonna be like, I need to spit real quick. Like, or you know what I mean? Like
it's just too much for me. It's a whole process. I like bong hits because I can just get it over with. Just bow, quick bong hit, blow it into my hallway. So neighbors smell it. We're good.
I'm like, man, I got kids, man. I be having to go, bro. You know how much this bong come in handy?
I understand that. That's why I would go do it on my front porch. I know inside I got kids as well.
I'm telling you, man, when you got kids, bro, nothing like a bong. A bong is dad's best friend. I'm getting the shirts to say that. Copywritten by Lonnie Bobby Inc. I'll be coming to Bobby, Ricky Bobby's gonna come around here soon. Woo!
That's not to be used without the Ricky Bobby Inc. Yeah. Ricky Bobby quoting and shit. Dude, one of my friends, my friend Majid, he's fucking he's like he's Brazilian. He's born in Brazil, but he's raised here. You don't know who I'm talking about? Yeah, Gorilla Hands. His name's Gorilla Hands.
I'm like, I think I know this person.
Yeah, I've always wanted to come out and train at there with you guys. I love that dojo. That place looks sick. I love that. That place looks.
He's always mad because me and my friend like movie quote each other. Ricky Bobby movie quotes all day. Ricky Bobby, Billy Madison. Like a handful of like movies of comedy movies, and just like anytime scenarios happen, we like boom movie quote and start cracking up, and he's always like, I don't get it.
I don't get it. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
I'm like, it's an American thing, dude. It's an American thing.
Some people don't get it.
And Ricky Bobby. Talladega Nights is the pinnacle of movie quotes.
Hey,
man.
I think Step Brothers is right up there with it. Those
I'm gonna
see Riley.
That's not to be used without the copyright permission of Jeff Glover. Ricky Bobby.
You got some. You got Talladega Nights. You got fucking Step Brothers. I'm gonna go with Superbad and Pineapple Express.
Next Friday.
Oh, then I was about to say, we go with Friday. Like, that shit changed history. People are still saying bye Felicia, who's never even seen Friday. They don't know where that shit came from. They just, you know what I mean? Like motherfucker don't, there's kids who don't know who Debo is, but they know what Debo means. Like, you're like, yo, you got Debo.
Boy. That's my boy.
You got Debo. I'm like, no, I didn't.
That's my boy.
But, yeah, and then, what's the other one? Brock jumping over to the next one.
Yeah, so it kind of plays into like where do you see the future of jiu-jitsu going as far as, we've seen this huge evolution with the leg locks coming to play in the past 5 to 7 years and really be utilized. Where do you see the jiu-jitsu evolving now? Do you see kind of it more converging with wrestling and kind of see wrestling becoming more of a part of it? As well as where do you see jiu-jitsu and weed culture evolving as well? Because as we know, it's such a huge part in it right now.
It's a tough one. I don't know. I see a lot of stoners doing jiu-jitsu, but I also see a lot of people that don't smoke weed doing jiu-jitsu. And but I do see a lot more acceptance of the weed culture. People aren't as shocked as they used to be when you come in smelling like you were just in a hot boxed car. And people just kind of I don't get the same negative feelings when my eyes are all red and I can tell I'm clearly baked. Like, I don't care anymore. I used to be worried about that. It's much more accepted now, I think. There's still a lot of people in different parts of the country that are like, yo, you do not come into my school high. Weed is not talked about in this gym. This gym is martial arts and we are, this and that. And hey, respect. It's your gym, whatever. I respect those dudes that say that shit, It's your place. I get it. Like, I'm not trying to demand people fucking accept weed culture. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to, dude. We're the coolest culture in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? I think the high rollers attitude, the high rollers principle, the high rollers idea is one of the most I don't know, it's really good for people, it's all love, dude. It's all love. It's all accepting. Everybody's welcome. If you want to come in high, if you don't want to come in high, if you want to try out weed, if you're old, if you're an old smoker, if you're new to jiu-jitsu, if you like jiu-jitsu, you want to do a tournament, you can do the tournament. Don't even have to smoke. People are always like, oh man, you have to smoke. I'm like, no, you don't have to smoke. They're not going around.
We got cops there.
They think Lonnie's going around forcing weed on people, dog. And I'm like, nah, it's not like that. It's it's not even like that, dude. Some dudes were winning high rollers and not just came to win the tournament, dude.
Yeah, you know how many guys I've ran across there who don't even smoke, or running the Instagram and having people message in with the new wrestling stuff like, hey, do I have to be high to compete? Like, no, bro, you don't have to be high to compete. Like, we're not gonna stay here and force it down your throat. Like, no, it's just an accepting environment. Like, it's one of those things where you have to kick down the door to really get change and whatnot. And that's what I feel like we're doing, or at least trying to do.
Yeah. Well,
now with that being said, if it's something like cops versus stoners, I do expect y'all to be actual stoners, because these are actual fucking cops. You know what I mean? And it was crazy because we did a cops versus stoners and being respectful and honestly not knowing how their system work or whatever. We was all right, guys, this today, no smoking in here. Boom. I got this section outside, out back for you guys. Y'all can smoke in here. Boom, boom. And the cops get there. They're kind of like, well, what the fuck is this shit? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, no one's smoking. It's like, yeah, y'all are cops. We thought y'all were fellow drug testers. They're like, no fucking work like that. I'm like, oh, well, sorry. You know what I mean? And then
can't wait to tell this to my friend, because I have a friend who's always over here. And he's like, oh, dude, I don't want to get And I'm like, dude, that's not a real thing, bro. That's not a real thing. Right. And you just laid it down.
They was like, yo, our shit, it don't work like that. And then it was like, my fucking girls here, they had their girlfriends wanted to smoke. They came to smoke. And we were a bunch of assholes. Now we ain't look but we just trying to be respectful because we didn't know. Like I said, I'm thinking they getting the hair follicle test, you can't blow under their hair, or you know what I mean? But it got to be coming through the DNA and all that shit like that. Their test is a little bit more strenuous and serious. So when they're getting the test, that shit can tell you yo, bro, you ate this shit. You fucking, your THC levels are so high. There's no way you just smoked it unless you smoked it 2 steps ago. You know what I mean? And that was you did a dab, or that's how your dab lasts longer in your system. So, you can't do the same things to get out as you do like a regular doobie or a bong rip or whatever. And fucking yeah, so they got different ways of getting tested and shit. So it's not like ours or whatever. Like if you was some dude on probation, then they looking for any way to send your ass back. So anything.
Yeah,
My
hey,
friends, basically.
Hey, more money, whatever they can do to get more money, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So where do you guys see like jiu-jitsu going as far as like technique wise? You know, like I said, there's just this huge, introduction and evolution of the leg game in the past 7 years. It's starting to get evened out and whatnot, and the fact that like people are just
I feel like a lot of more people are going to start going down there. I want to say the Floyd Mayweather route of the way he looked at his opponents in boxing. And basically what I'm saying is like, they're like, yo, I don't give a fuck what you do. I have my game plan. I'm going to implement my game plan on you. Like, I think people are going to start figuring out their styles individually a lot more versus like, yo, I want to be the next Gordon, so I'm going to start doing this. So you get down and you're like, I'm not Gordon. Like, you know what I mean? And like, so you gotta figure it out. It's kind of like Gordon's Gordon. Boom. Jeff is Jeff. Jeff can do shit. Like I'm not doing Jeff Glover shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as my body and my brain may be like, hey man, you can do anything. You can believe it and achieve it. Some Jeff Glover shit I just cannot believe to achieve to do. Because the shit is like, my body just won't let me. I got this thing called a stomach. And I can't, you know what I mean? Like certain ways I can't just bend and fold and all that stuff like that. But with that being said, I mean, like, I think people will start figuring out, yo, I have a game plan a lot more. This is my game plan. This is my system. Like me, my game plan is basic as shit. I am a Hodger Gracie jiu-jitsu type of guy. What I mean by that is like, it's like, yo, grips, get you here, work, sub. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's it for me. Like, I'm not about to be out here like,
that's I'm not going to be right there, baby.
Yeah, bro. You ain't gonna see me on World Star doing those spinny jump shits and all that. Like,
I mean, it depends, dude. I think obviously, whatever the rules are will dictate what the styles will tend to look like. Depending on the tournaments. I don't know. Like, I think like the question that came to mind is like, what trends are we going to see in the future? Is like the leg lock trend going to continue to be as valuable as it is now in the future? Is the gi going to come back? I don't know. I don't know what trends are going to catch hold in the future. But I don't think it's going to be anything crazier or too much different from what you're seeing now. I think jiu-jitsu is pretty leveled out, and it's pretty established. You know what I'm saying? You're either choking a motherfucker, breaking their arm, or breaking their leg. Wow, there it is, dude. You know what I'm saying? And then there's other stuff around it. You know what I'm saying? But that's essentially it, dude. And it's like, where does those three, that's basically your limitation. So where does that limitation lead us? I don't know. Let's see, man. I think like Lonnie said earlier, like the gi is still dope. Anybody who does the gi, you know how goddamn fun that is. That shit is so fun. And it's like, it's so fun, in fact, that despite the fact that it's one of the most boring things to watch two motherfuckers do, they still get people to show up into these tournaments and like watch those matches. It's like, yeah, they've been small before, but they have been huge before. It has been huge before. It has potential. Gi matches have potential to like draw crowds. And I think you got to get the right people. I think there's always, while it's on my head, I think something that is really cool is bringing back like old school dudes and letting old school dudes have matches, you know, getting like old grandmasters, dude, bringing an old grandmaster back and offering that motherfucker $20K. Be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't know. Eric Paulson or some old school dude, Eric Paulson and fucking some Gracie that's his age. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about dudes in their 50s. Okay,
Yeah, I want to see Enzo. I want to see Enzo.
You know what I'm saying? I know. I was like, obviously Henzo, but I didn't want to like say it. I was like, there's Henzo's too obvious. You know what I'm saying? There's other like old school dudes that I think like if you brought them back and you're like, hey, everybody, we got these two dudes. You're like, what? What are you gonna do with those two dudes? Well, we're gonna put them in a gi and we're gonna fucking let them have a match and see who the fuck wins. People would be like, fuck yeah, sign up.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think there's still potential for that. Obviously, I love no gi fighting. I love submission wrestling without a gi and not being able to like be grabbed and held down with my lapels and not having to worry about loop chokes and it makes it look different, you know. I don't know, dude. Is there gonna be the question that just came to mind right now? Is there gonna be a place where like the gi starts incorporating heel hooks? Is there gonna be a place where that's what's? Is there gonna be a place where you can wear whatever you want? Is there gonna be a place where you can come in wearing a gi or you don't have to wear a gi? Is there gonna be? Who knows, man? Who knows what the future holds? But it's fucking bright, isn't it, gentlemen?
Yeah.
I agree. And that basically led us perfectly into what I was wanting to cover next was the coming back in leg locks in the gi, like bringing in leg lock rule sets into the gi to make it more interesting. Do you feel like the old like thing of, you know, pants cause more friction and adds to more risk of knee injuries is why they don't allow reaping and, you know, heel hooks and stuff like that in the gi? And
That might be right.
But do you feel like that brings more excitement and it's worth it to evolve the sport, whether or not that is the case?
I think the competitors just got to be more careful. Fucking give up quicker before your fucking knee blows out, dummy.
I mean, I'm the king. I'm the king. Yo, you got my leg. You ain't got to go all the way there. I'm just let you know that right there. I'm like, hey, right? Whoa, hey, you got me, baby.
If I have to go, hey, whoa, you win.
Hey, there we go. You win, my man. Hey, whoa, there we go.
Let's call it Uncle. Let's play Uncle. I'm gonna start a tournament. We'll call it Uncle. We're gonna play Uncle. Make the person say Uncle. I don't care how you do it. You can't punch him. You know what I'm saying? You can't kick him. Make the motherfucker say Uncle. Uncle. We used to do that when we were kids. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I was about to say that. I'm damn near on the same, like, we're kind of from that same era of life, like 80s movies with Sylvester Stallone and, you know what I mean? So we're very much in the era of life, like, yo, look, you can grab it if you want, but that shit gonna burn. You know what I mean? Like, and hey, I told you, so it's on you now. Like,
what about like pro wrestling? Like I'm from the 80s, 90s. Pro wrestling had stipulation matches. Why don't we do fucking stipulation matches? Let's get a Gordon Ryan in the gi versus Mikey Musumeci. And if Gordon doesn't tap him in less than a minute, Mikey wins, bro. Let's do matches like that. You know what I'm saying? We do all this boring, like official, like, oh, it has to be regulated by the organization. Got to make the exact same weight and da. Who the fuck cares? Let's put some crazy matches together, man. Like
that's what I'm saying. Midget jiu-jitsu.
Like pro wrestling had it figured out. We got to do shit like WWF used to do in the 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? And even like the early 2000s, man, you could do some cool shit.
Jeff, hear me out. Hear me out. Midget jiu-jitsu. They don't have the due to the shorter arms and legs. They're unable. It's harder to get the submission, but also harder to like get it around the needed, their necks or needed parts of the body to pull off the submission.
Bruh. It's not going to be hard for them. They're the same size. It's just us doing us. They're just smaller.
No. They have the same size, like torso and everything, but it's the legs and the arms are shorter. That's what I'm saying. Their weapons are smaller. It's like fighting with daggers instead of swords.
I mean, all right, sure. I'm open to hear ideas,
No, fuck that. I'm canceling that one. I'm stopping that one before it starts.
Right. I'm open to hear that we can stomp it. I hear it, we stomp it. Boom. Good. Next one, bro.
Well, there you go. There you go. So I'm gonna proclaim it here. I'm gonna be the guy who brings back the gi. I'm gonna make the gi cool again.
I think we should do gi with leg lock rules, like reintroduce leg lock rules, see how it goes. I mean, because
All right. Well, no, slow down there, partner. Slow down, slow down. First of all, you jumped into the water and the shark was still swimming. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Now listen. What I was going to say is I'm gonna try to go a whole different way with it. Go with the kids. You know what I mean? These new NIL deals and all that shit these kids get. Imagine jiu-jitsu kids getting that shit for the gi, like real live gi companies. Like I have a Hyperfly gi, 101 Hyperfly with Cookies clothing. You know what I'm saying? So those little things like that, like Nike does a gi with fucking Hyperfly or Gameness and Nike or something. You know what I'm saying? Some shit like that. Now you got that new cool dude in high school, like, you know what I'm saying? Now he's getting money for having an NIL deal for wearing a fucking gi. Like, that's the way you can help bring that shit back also, other than fucking just Nike and them don't need to pay nobody no money right now. All you gonna do is wear some fucking spats and the shorts and the damn what's that little wick shirt? Like, they don't need to get nobody no money for that. They know you gonna wear that shit. So make it specific.
I don't think gi went away. I think no gi just added as well. I think the jiu-jitsu population just like doubled, and it just added this like extra group of people that are like, cool, I like doing jiu-jitsu no gi, but there's still this like huge population of people that love training in the gi and that are like dedicated to that fucking culture and lifestyle and to these like stripes you can put on your belt and shit, like, and becoming this black belt with these degrees. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a dope little world to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's always be there.
This is what I think happened. I think all the dads who had wrestlers as children found out about no-gi and was like, all right,
yeah,
my son won't be a pussy doing this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him loose. And then so now we just got a bunch of wrestlers who found out about no-gi, and it was like the Gremlins. They jumped in the water, they just started popping out every fucking where, man.
That's always I think. That's always, I remember early in the day, like 2000 and shit, doing no-gi tournaments. And it was just wrestler dudes. It was like, all right, how are we going to beat these wrestler dudes, you know? It was like, boom, pull half guard, wait till they walk into triangles and guillotines, you know? And it was...
social media. Social media is a big fucking boomer and all this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now it's like, hey, I don't need to get in the magazine to see what the fuck the fashion is in New York or some shit like that. I could just get on my phone and instantly see the fashion. It's not 7 months behind or whatever. So now I'm a wrestler. So I'm like, hey, what's next for me? Like after the US Open or whatever. Like, shit, I want to do MMA. Well, to do MMA, I need to learn fucking jiu-jitsu. So let me go do some jiu-jitsu. You got a lot of those guys who that was the plan. And it was like, I'm making money over here. I'm not fucking going over there to get punched in the mouth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's definitely a lot of things that play a part in making that fucking bigger and bigger.
They can open schools and teach and like do something with this. You can't do that with wrestling, dude. You get out of wrestling programs and they go into the real world with that information and they're like, what am I going to open a wrestling school? Like, nobody fucking opens wrestling schools. Everyone opens jiu-jitsu schools. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
there's not a lot of wrestling like academies and shit like that. It's
dude,
like,
those guys get out of the college programs and they're like, I don't give a fuck about wrestling anymore, man. I don't know why. I don't get it. I'm just saying what I see.
Yeah.
And then I see a lot of guys, they see what jiu-jitsu's doing and they're like, nah, dude, these guys do that shit into their fucking like 60s and 70s. These guys don't just stop doing jiu-jitsu once they get out of college. Like, these guys open schools and teach the next generations of guys. And then wrestlers are like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Wow. Next thing you know, 3 years go by, this wrestler's a fucking brown belt about to get his black belt. And now he's ready to do this. And his life is so much better than it was before he found jiu-jitsu. Like, I mean, now that he found jiu-jitsu, you know, it's like, I've seen that so many times, Lonnie. That's to your point that you were saying. That's why I said that. Like, that's a common thing.
Definitely. Now on to the next one. The guy who got paralyzed from the move, I believe that was at San Diego, but Henry Gracie testified? Brock? That's what you're
saying? So basically the little background on that is Henry came in as an expert witness and basically said that it could have been prevented. that due to the instructor or the black belt utilizing the move in an incorrect way is what caused it to be unsafe and caused the paralyzation of the white belt who was doing it.
Yeah, well, here's where I changed over and it was like, oh, Henner's right. Is because what I saw is that he didn't say the guy was spiked on his neck. He said it's as if you were spiked on your neck. That move bends your spine in a way similar to as if somebody picked you up and fucking spiked you on your neck. That's what it does to your neck. And when I heard that, I was like, fuck, he's right, dog. He's right. You know what I'm saying? If somebody did that shit to me, bro, I'd be so fucking pissed off at you. Like, are you kidding me? Like if another student, that's one of those moves I've always never done that. I saw that as a blue belt and I was like, dope, never going to do that one. Never going to try that one. If anybody ever tries that on me, I'm just going to give up and let them have it so I don't break my fucking neck. That is hands down the most dangerous thing I've ever seen in the game. Leo Vera will just bust that out like it was nothing too. Like, wow, do it to people. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm like, dude, I never like, I can hands down say that in my 22 years, whatever year of jiu-jitsu, I don't even know what the fuck it is. I've never done that one to anybody. I've never tried that. And there's a reason for it, dog. And that we saw what happened. And Henner's fucking right. If you ask me, man, that shit was dangerous. Did he do it on purpose to hurt the guy? No, but you got fucking hurt, man. You broke the dude's goddamn neck. You know what I'm saying? That shit's fucked up, dude. You didn't have to do that. There's no reason to do that. If you don't recognize that that's a dangerous move, come on, homie. You call yourself a professional. Like, I get it, dude. The guy's dope. He's a great jiu-jitsu guy. Don't get me wrong. Sinistro's dope, but like, what happened happened. Wow. You know, that's where I stand with it, dude. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know. People get all like heated with this shit, so I don't want to say too much more.
I am one of them people who let somebody, I would say it very quickly, I'm not a fucking black belt. I just heard multiple black belts give their opinion and it always the same shit. So I ain't got nothing to say about that shit. So you don't do the move. What's up, Brock? How do you feel?
So yeah, that's it.
I like the move. I think it should be fucking done at all costs because I'm Brock.
It was flashy. I let no, I I agree completely. I don't think it should have been utilized in that circumstance. And even when you go and watch Henner's breakdown, the guy didn't even perform it correctly. Like he
performed correctly or not, you shouldn't be doing this. Dude.
Yeah. So it shouldn't be done in the first place. And in the second place, if you're gonna do it, especially to somebody who's only been doing it 2 years opposed to your 10 plus years as a black belt, you know, that's just there's no point. And I can understand why it was deemed like unnecessary danger or an unnecessary risk, I think was the correct termage. But yeah, no, I completely agree. And that just sucks for that guy. Like, you know, he became a quadriplegic off of it. I mean, he's walking now from reports, but still, he's rock climbing. Yeah, but what's that going to take off his life expectancy of like such a, you know, an injury to the central nervous system? You know, whether it be strokes later on or.
No, I mean, that is fucked up at the end of the day. You still never know what he's going through.
Yeah. So, and that's just something that looks bad on the sport. And, you know, for wanting to introduce people into it. I mean, I saw that right before open mat and the actual video. So that was kind of rough on me going in that open mat after seeing that.
Oh, it wasn't fucking rough on you. That was rough on me.
That was rough on me. I was like, hey, only thing I keep in my head and all of them was chin to chest, chin to chest, chin to chest.
How about this? You can just see your head. Don't let me get to my fucking back. Let me just get you the fuck.
Hey, I don't know how good you think I'm at jiu-jitsu, but not getting to my back is not at least under my control. I have no say in that. I just
yeah, you got no say, do you?
I got no say in that.
That's horrible, man. Wow. All right, man. So now let me see. Up next, we got to find out. Jeff, what's up next for you, my brother? What you got coming up next? What's in the future of Jeff Glover?
Well, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm just cruising. Everything's so good right now. I don't really have to do much, you know. My video sales are doing well. Hold on. All my projects I do, they always go really well. I don't know. What should I do? I think I should do more tournaments in San Diego. Sell stuff. Just keep doing what I'm doing essentially. You know, staying healthy, maintaining my diet, maintaining my lifting and my exercising. Um, you know, going on my walks, taking care of my little dog, having fun, you know, going to parties, going out and, you know, dancing and having fun with friends and doing shit like that and being an actual person besides this like always jujitsu grappler guy and like, you know, living life and I don't know, shit like that. Nothing crazy. I don't know if I'm gonna like take matches or anything like that. I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at as far as that goes. I had back surgery like a year ago, and I'm moving around all healthy. You know, like it doesn't hurt anymore. I can like get up out of bed. I can put my shoes on, and I'm just so like thankful for that. Still, a year after the spine surgery, I'm just kind of counting my blessings on that one mostly. So, yeah. Thank you for asking.
Man, shit, well, glad you recovered from that and doing well. And if I could find out who is the one person Jeff would love to just do like 5-6 rounds of a good open mat with. Not like, it don't gotta be a jiu-jitsu person. It could be a jiu-jitsu person, but someone like who trains and people like me. Basically, I would love to just get out there with fucking Ed O'Neill or Al Bundy. Like, I would love to roll with Al Bundy, just good open mat rounds. Like, yeah, he's been a black belt for what, like fucking 15 years now or some shit?
Yeah, like, yeah, he's old school, actually. Yeah, he's like a jiu-jitsu OG from the Gracie University.
Yeah, super old school. He's a big dude, too.
Yeah. Ed O'Neill, shout out.
Yeah, so Jeff, who's your guy, Jeff?
Gosh, that's a good question. I guess I would have to say Brock Lesnar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know he does jiu-jitsu. I've seen the guy he trains with, Compredo, and I would like to see if I could tap that dude out. You know, if he respected the jiu-jitsu rules and didn't like pick me up and throw me or something. But you know, I would like to have like, you know, jiu-jitsu, like no slamming. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
No hitting me with chairs and shit. I would like to have a couple jiu-jitsu rounds with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, because he can wrestle his ass off, like legit. Like not just WWE, but
I could take his back, dog. I would take his fucking back. I would get on that front headlock. He wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? He'd be trying to hold me down. I'd be bow. I'd come out. I'd go deep half guard, bow. Go out the back door. He would like turn. Oh, I'd come out the back door. He'd be like, oh no. He would turn and I would snatch him up in the front headlock. And then from the front headlock, he'd be like double leg. And I would just pull him back for a guillotine. But I'm telling you, I could arm and guillotine that dude. Okay, I'm done. You got me all fucking hyped up.
You got me hyped up when you said Brock, because I thought you were going to talk about me.
No, Brock.
For a second, I was like, Brock, and then
Brock.
I was like, oh, sweet. And no.
No, my young Jedi friend, we do not respect your skills that much yet. You are not there yet.
Shoot.
No, Brock.
Hey, if he said he'd take that match, if he had to do a WWE match, would you take that?
Of course, dude. I would cut an amazing promo, dude. You don't even know.
You know what? I always forget about it, but I actually am supposed to do a match. Not like no big shebang or something, but we're supposed to do a match in a gym somewhere. Me and Johnny Bones are supposed to have a jiu-jitsu match. No gi and gi. And winner gets the others like favorite. So I have a 50 cal Desert Eagle he wants. And he has an F&N 45 that I want. So winner gets the others firearm or whatever. But I learned the hard way when I was training in the summertime that motherfucker was setting me up because I had no idea how high Albuquerque's altitude was. Until I went there to train, and I was laying on the ground, throwing up, and I needed IVs and all that shit a little bit later on. So, John, if you ever see this, you're a dick.
Hey, if that ever happens, I'll come be a part of that.
Oh man, but
I'll even do a match with Little Brock to be a part of that.
Yeah, if you make it past me. Yeah, that definitely be a 10 or tap rule kind of match. I mean, if it gets really bad, you just tap me. But
look how excited Brock just got. Shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's about to go down. It's about to go down, bro. One day, one day, like the whole High Roller staff called me out for jiu-jitsu one day. I really had to get out there and open mat and like actually show them, like, hey guys, I actually know jiu-jitsu and I'm kind of good at it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So.
Was that the weekend ADCC was in town and we had like 200 people at our open mat?
Yeah, it only took me like half a round to tap all of y'all.
All right.
Well, hey, Jeff, with no real moves, I just like got him and then just put my hand in the chest and pushed it down, bro. It was like, no bullshit. That was it. I grab him and I just give them, and I'd be like, oh, and they'd be like, I was like,
humble beginnings, Brock?
Yeah,
I call it the nug smasher.
It's like a rosin press.
The rosin press.
You know what I'm saying?
The rosin.
I've got pictures of the rosin press. What they can do.
Dude, I'm gonna make a whole video of rosin press and people now watch.
Rosin press, man. I had Killer Mike. Killer Mike came to one of the jiu-jitsu tournaments. I had rosin press a guy in Atlanta, man. It was awesome.
Hey, there's your next instructional. Out on BJJ Fanatics, rosin press.
Rosin press.
You might be onto something.
Hey, what would you think about?
We ain't gonna fucking hold you up too much longer. That's definitely all we really needed. Brock will start fanboying out and ask you shit that you don't need to like tell us. Like he wants to ask about your socks and underwears and shit. Like,
yeah, what underwear do you wear for the best submission? I'm just kidding.
Hey Jeff, how big is your dick, dude?
Like this big, or like tell me when to stop.
Tell me when to stop.
This is it. And this right here is when I always clarify. All right, guys, these are my white friends. You know what I mean? So,
hey, no, Brock.
Well, we do have some events coming up. May 28th, we have the High Rollers Open in Phoenix, Arizona. That is Memorial Day weekend. You guys make it out to that. You can find the link to sign up in our bio on our Instagram. It can also be found on Smooth Comp. We are also hitting up Washington, D.C. in June, and that actually has a new date. And to confirm that new date, so I don't give you the wrong one, I'm going to make sure I have the correct new one. Yep. June 24th is the new date on Washington, D.C. So you'll see that on our Instagram, but also wanted to confirm that here. June 24th is the new date for Washington, D.C. Signups are now open on Smooth Comp, and you can find the link in bio for that. And we are coming to San Diego July 15th for the San Diego Open. The link will be live on our Instagram by Friday, as well as the Smooth Comp will be open. So yeah, hopefully Jeff can make it out to one of those events. Tell us.
All right.
Who do we have here, Jeff?
Nice.
Thank you, boys.
Have a good one.
Thank you, guys.